Episode 67, Zodiac Killer Case. Wanted! Now, the Zodiac Killer was wanted by the San Francisco Police Department. They had some of the best crime scene investigators there were in the country, and especially at the time. Paul Lee Stine was 29 years old. He was married and lived at 1842 Fell Street in San Francisco. Paul was a graduate student at San Francisco State College. He was working the night shift for the Yellow Cab taxi service to pay for his education. And on October 11th, it all came to an end. Once again, the Zodiac Killer had planned out his murder ahead of time. He was ready to tear off a piece of the cabbie's shirt and mail it to the San Francisco Chronicle. He picked up the taxi cab in the theater district near the old San Francis Hotel. He told the driver to go to Washington and Maple in the Presidio district because it was quiet and secluded. How did he know this? Where did he park his car? He wrote that the police could have caught him if they searched the park properly. How did he know this? Was he lying? And why did he kill a taxi cab driver? My beautiful white arrow is pointing north up Cherry towards the Presidio, and it is believed the Zodiac went that direction and then turned right and then east on Washington, where he was stopped by the two police officers, and then I believe he went into the park north, and then I think he headed east according to his letter and stayed or hid in the playground on those grounds. They headed west down Washington Street to Maple and stopped there to let him out. But the Zodiac Killer asked to go up one more block, so he pulled up one more block, and then that's when he shot Paul Stine. And then after that, he wiped the cab down, and then he headed north up here towards Jackson Street. And then he turned right and he went down Jackson Street some, and then the police stopped him and asked him if he saw anything unusual or strange, and he said yes. And then they went on, and then at some point he went in through one of these little alleys, walking. You can't drive a car through here, to this street right here, and then into the park. And then here is Julius Kahn Playground. And so this is where he hid, most likely. At least that's what he said he hid. He said he hid to the east, down this way. And the police searched all over around in this area. Now here's a golf course. I don't know where there's a parking lot, but if there's a parking lot somewhere over here, he could have parked at this golf course. Because my thoughts about this crime. Here I have a few questions about the crime, and I kind of give my answer to them. So first, would the Zodiac Killer murder someone in San Francisco if he lived there? And I think he would not. I think he deliberately did this murder in San Francisco to make it look like he might live in San Francisco, where he lives outside the city, most likely in the Vallejo area. Did he park his car in the Presidio somewhere or along West Pacific Avenue? I believe he parked his car on West Pacific Avenue, but because of the police presence, he hid in the Presidio and in the playground area park there. And he was scared to come out, and he was forced to stay there for several hours while the police were doing their searches. And then finally he came out, got in his car, and drove back to where he lives. Did the Zodiac Killer get scared of being caught that night? I think he got very scared. I think he thought he was going to be caught. He was nervous when he was out there, and so he changed his whole behavior after this incident and moved to more writing letters. Was the Zodiac Killer playing dumb in his letters? I think that is quite possible. You can see all these misspellings and sloppy writing, but if you look at the ciphers, they're all neatly done. So I think he might be an educated man, and he's pretending to be dumb. Paul Stine attended San Francisco State College. The reason I bring that up is it comes about in something that happens later, or actually it happened earlier, and so I wanted to point that out. Well, this ends this episode of Unsolved, and in the next episode, I believe I'm going to go over the 340 character cipher. So I'll see you the next time. Dead or alive.